Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. Today on the program, the military reveals a Red October plot.
It's okay to be an opposition. It's part of our democratic space. But if you're going to align with these communists and their objective is different, is violent, then we have a problem.
That links opposition and communist groups in a supposed effort to oust the president.
General Parlade, he talks about plans, but he admits they have no details. I'm sorry, hindi yan maayos na intel na dapat pagbasehan ng isang Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations.
Also, is the armed forces being politicized? AFP Deputy Chief for Operations, Brigadier General Antonio Parlade, joins us live. And later, 3D printing on a whole new level. This time for dogs. That's for today's In Focus. Thank you for joining us. I'm Pinky Webb. The military is not backing down on its claim of an ouster plot against President Rodrigo Duterte in October. AFP officials say they have enough proof to connect communist groups and opposition leaders working jointly to oust the president. Also, amid destabilization claims and the case of Senator Antonio Trillanes, is the AFP now being used for political gains? Let's go straight to the source of the story. Armed Forces of the Philippines Deputy Chief for Operations, Brigadier General Antonio Parlade. General, welcome to the show. Good to finally meet you, sir.
Thank you, Pinky.
Okay, you revealed what is now known as, well, to us, Red October. It's a plot to oust President Rodrigo Duterte. Sir, my first question is, when did you find out about this?
Well, that plan has been there since September last year. But it was only lately, last June, that we were able to see clearly what's in that October plan. So like I said in my previous interviews, it's a rolling plan. You know, it covers a lot of things, including this aklasan that you see, the Nutri-Asia incident, their activities last September 21. Mm-hmm. And this plan is a rolling plan, I said. So they have plans this coming October, then they have plans this coming November, and then finally this December, in time for the 50th CPP anniversary. All
right, so did you hear about it September of last year? Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
Personally, you heard something September of last year?
No, I'm with the operations, so we do operations.
Right.
But we rely on our intelligence, we rely on our sources, so when the operations guys are given this, then we start planning.
Right, so you heard about it, that there was a plan to oust the president in September of last year. But para pong nabuo lang talaga, or you had solid evidence a couple of months ago. Is that correct, sir?
Yes. In fact, this was corroborated by evidences we got from that July 4 or 5 incident in General Santos, where a certain Francis was captured together with another person. They're the head of the finance bureau of Comid in Mindanao. Mm. And in that incident, we were able to recover like 9 laptops, terabytes of information about their plot.
So, help me understand the situation, General. In the laptops, there was what? Communication, plans, plans, something like that. So
everything.
What can you tell us about that?
I cannot reveal.
I know you can't reveal a lot, but what can you tell us? What do you actually find inside in those 9 computers?
Remember, it's July, and this was a time when their plan on this peace talks was derailed because of the things that we have discovered. Mm-hmm. Like they're doing this peace talks with us, and then they have this plan to oust the president, to topple the administration of President Duterte. So in those documents, like I said, 9 laptops, terabytes of information, but right now we're still doing forensics, and we cannot easily extract these documents. But in due time, we're going to reveal it with clearance from proper authorities.
What did you find out? What can you tell us that you found out in those documents found in those 9 computers? What was telling?
It's a nationwide plot, actually, which involves a grand coalition. I already said that. They have this movement against tyranny run by the Communist Party of the Philippines, and I'd like to clear that again. It's run by CPP cadres. The other coalition members like Tindig and CFJ may not be aware that this Red October thing is existent, but that's very clear that it's the CPP, it's Joma who is orchestrating all of this.
So this Red October is spearheaded, masterminded by Joma Sisan.
Yes.
So what is the relationship now, or how does Tindig come into the picture? How does Liberal Party come into the picture? Possibly even Vice President Leni Robredo. Please clear that up for us, sir.
It's so clear, you know. Of course, we understand September 21, that's martial law anniversary, and all these years, we know that September 21 is always being celebrated by the opposition, the anti-Marcos group, and it's easy to deduce who's going to be part of this. That's understandable. That's part of the democratic process.
Who's going to be part of what, sir?
The opposition.
Okay.
All those activists, or who's
Martial law victims, opposed to martial law. Yes, sir.
Yes, but what we don't like is that probably these people don't understand that it's the Communist Party is orchestrating all of this. And like I said, the Aklasan is just one of them. There's also, I don't want to name a lot of them because there are 9. There are 9 plans in that October, Red October. And I can mention one more, and probably somebody will tell us that he's concocting another plan, because these are familiar terms to you.
So there are 9 plans.
Yes.
9 plans. Am I getting it right, to oust the president in October? Yeah. What are the? How many can you give us? I'm sure you've given us.
Like there's the Lakbay Lumad Europe.
Okay.
This will happen actually in November, but right now they are already in Europe. Renato Reyes is already in Europe. They're exposing these alleged extrajudicial killings of the administration. They're exposing these alleged killings of IPs in Mindanao. They're exposing all these activities, alleged activities of the government to suppress the freedom. Yeah.
So that's 1.
Yes.
1 out of the 9. What else, sir?
Aklasan is 1.
Okay, that's another one. Aklasan.
Lakbay Lumad Europe is another. There's the Bungkalan and Occupation. Remember this Kanabay incident in Pandi, Bulacan?
Okay, yes.
It's orchestrated by the Communist Party, and it's been, they still have this plan. Occupation in Cebu, in Iloilo, in Bacolod, all these housing projects of the government, they intend to occupy.
So these are some of the plans that are orchestrated by the Communist Party to bring about ousting the president.
No, it's not really ousting. Well, wait, let me just clarify that. Ousting the president would be a comfortable alibi for the opposition. Of course, you're an opposition. But I think they're not rallying into that
Yet.
in that objective. I really don't know, but what I'm saying is the Communist Party is trying to gather as much support from all these alliances in order to topple the president.
That's why. So it's a plan eventually to oust the president.
Yes, but the opposition is saying, no, we don't have those plans. That's for them to prove later on. But
So are you saying, General, that the opposition could be used without them really knowing it, that
Yes.
they're unaware? So let's clear this up. The opposition is not working with the Communist Party to oust the president. Is that correct, sir?
no, I didn't say that. I said the opposition is being used by this movement against tyranny to muster support from them in order to execute whatever the plans of the communists are, which one of them is, of course, to oust the president and to supplant this democratic form of government.
And the opposition doesn't know that, sir?
I don't know with them. That's what they're saying.
And do you believe that they know of the plan of the communists and are willing victims or participants to this? Or do you think that Nagmamaang-maangan ho sila.
I don't want to talk about, my opinion on that, but let me just go back to those documents. Probably after
Okay.
those documents have been have underwent the process, then we'll share it to you in due time.
General, the documents that you gathered, this is where you're getting the 9 ways or plans to oust the president. Tama ho ba?
Just one of our sources.
Okay.
But we have intelligence. They're working. They're doing their job. That's why I read some of the comments. They say, what kind of intelligence do you have? Now, look at this. If we
It's been
didn't say
questioned.
anything, and then something happens, what will they say? You're not doing your job. So damn if you do, damn if you don't.
And so now you're revealing it because you found something. So you have this, sir, I know you can't really show it, but pwede ko bang hawakan?
Yes,
Okay.
of course.
So what is this? Can I show
don't
the front
open.
only?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
won't open, sir. So ano po ito?
That's basically part of the extracted documents.
From the 9 computers?
Yes, from the 9 computers, maybe just one of them. And then out of that, we are still exploiting all these documents. And like I said, I'm not at liberty to share that to you, but just to give you confidence that
there is something here.
And by the way,
and this is not blank inside, huh?
No.
Can I peek?
Yeah. Whoops.
Sabi mo I can peek.
Yeah, but just browse. Don't read.
Sige, sige sir.
I know you're a quick reader.
Meron namang ano,
yeah.
may laman naman siya, okay. A1 ho ba to, sir?
If there's such thing as what we call
Even better than
A1111, it is. And by the way,
Okay, what
some
is
of the
that, sir?
plans are here. And some of the plans you can just browse in their websites. And I brought this one because I want the people to understand
Okay.
that if it is the Communist Party who's orchestrating this, you'd better be careful. Because it's very clear here in their article, the Constitution and Program of the Communist Party of the Philippines. This was actually version 2016. But
Bago
we got
yan.
this online last May 2018 only.
All right.
And Article 3, Section 7 of this says that
Sir, you can read that.
the
I think we have
proletarian,
that.
yep,
We have
Oh,
that on
you-
the screen right now. What is this saying? How are we supposed to understand, or how is this supposed to affect the plot to oust the president?
you're marching with these communist groups in the streets, but you don't understand that the Communist Party adheres to the principle of proletarian dictatorship. What does it say? It says that if they win in this campaign, we will have something like the Pol Pot regime, the Khmer Rouge. They're going to kill proletarian revolution, dictatorship. They're going to kill you, me, all these professionals, and let the proletarians rule the country.
Would you go as far, General, as cautioning probably
Students.
the opposite? Let me start with the opposition, because it seems you're saying that they're possibly being used wittingly or unwittingly. Ganun po. Let's stick to that. But would you go as far as cautioning them to say?
Yes. Yes, in fact, that's our purpose. We welcome opposition, legitimate democratic opposition. I can join them in the streets if you want, if I believe in their cause. But because I'm with the military, I cannot do that, of course. But to say that we are suppressing their freedom, no.
Okay.
We want them to speak out. But please, don't be exploited by these
And
communists.
what about the students, sir?
Especially the students. For so many years, for so long, this League of Filipino Students, they've been exploited by the Communist Party of the Philippines. Many of them actually ended up becoming cadres of the New People's Army. And then, where are they now? Many of them actually have gone back to the folds of the law because they understood that they're being used.
So it's really, what you want to do is to educate the public. I guess, sir, am I right, into what really the motive is and the plan of the Communist Party of the Philippines? We'll be taking a short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Coming up, is the armed forces being dragged into politics? AFP Brigadier General Antonio Parlade will still be with us after the break. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, AFP Assistant Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations, Brigadier General Antonio Parlade. Sir, this is something we'd like to know. Can you give us an ouster plot scenario from what you've seen? from the documents, and I know you said there were also testimonies. What is an ouster plot scenario?
Ouster plot, you know, it's a huge word. But I don't know if I think we'd rather talk on how they're going to do it, because I really, I believe that it's going to fail. We have a very high, the popular rating of the president is so high. The rating of the armed forces of the Philippines is so high. They cannot execute anything to oust the president without the armed forces, the support of the armed forces. And let me tell you again, let me tell our audience that the armed forces of the Philippines is solid in support of the administration. We are a very constitutional. I lost my word, but what I'm saying is
you're loyal to the Constitution,
yes, we are very loyal to the Constitution.
So you're loyal to the Constitution,
It is.
but you are loyal to the Constitution, not to the President, or you are loyal to the President because the President is a duly elected person heading the Constitution. Okay.
That's part of our institution that we need to protect.
Do you need to, so is there a need to do a loyalty check?
I really don't think so. I don't think so.
Kasi wala there. Is there even support? Because it was also General Anyo who said very recently that there were moves to recruit members of the police and even the armed forces, sir.
You know, it's always like that. Every time there's a brewing problem, you know, opposition.
Would that be irregular? I mean, ganun naman ho talaga yun, di ba?
Yes.
Okay.
But what they're forgetting is that after martial law, the armed forces of the Philippines have reforms a lot. You know, we have this AP transformation roadmap. The Army has its own roadmap. The Navy and the Air Force, they have their own roadmap. We even want to amend that mission of PMA, which we believe is part of that the problem. You know,
which is
for so long. We until now I can recite to you the mission of the PMA, which is to instruct, train, and develop cadets so that each graduate shall possess the broad and basic skills essential in the successful pursuit of a progressive military career. It's about career. It has to change.
You don't like that?
We don't
it's
like
not
that.
about the career.
It's not.
What is it about?
Nothing is
it's
even
about
said about love of country. Nothing is said about constitution. So we have attempted to change that, and they're putting in something like self or value-centered leadership. You know, love of the institutions. So which is good. So, which brings me again to this issue on politicizing the armed forces.
Yeah.
We're not politicized, and we cannot be politicized. But let me correct you: we are political. We are not.
What do you mean by
apolitical.
that? Yeah, you're political.
Yes.
You are not.
We are supposed to be political, but for the longest time, I was trained in PMA. I was trained in the U.S. For the longest time, that has been it's an old school mindset, you know. But you are in an insurgency. You are fighting the insurgents. They're within your midst. They're in the bureaucracy. And the moment you engage the barangay captain, the mayor, that's being political. Do you think we have nothing to do with these people? No, we have to engage them because it's from there that we derive these issues,
but
problems.
you are clarifying that you are political, but you are not partisan. May kakaibahan ho yun. But sir, I need to go back to my question earlier because you didn't quite answer that. What is an ouster plot scenario? What is a scenario that you were actually seeing that could happen based on these things, sir?
And previous experiences?
No, sir. Based on what you found out,
okay.
yeah.
And
sabi nyo, testimonies, di pa po natin na pag-uusapan yan.
You will be surprised if we come up with the statements of these former rebels, who are captured rebels, who are now with us. But anyway, the scenario that we're looking at is for the opposition, for this grand coalition to come up with a critical mass. The opposition said they may not be part of that plot, but this is the grand plot of Joma season. They're going to have or create this critical mass, try to create this critical mass, and then sabotage it. Remember Plaza Miranda bombing. Remember Plaza Miranda bombing. And then blame the president for doing such. That has always been their tactic ever since.
Something like that, then.
Yes.
That's what you're talking about. So I just want to bring in some of the comments. We have one from Senator Risa Hontiveros. She says that you have documents, excuse me, you do not have details. She calls the work sloppy. And in fact, she even goes as far as, nananawagan siya sa armed forces, wag magpagamit. Let's listen to a portion of our interview with Senator Risa Hontiveros.
General Parlade, he talks about plans, but he admits they have no details. I'm sorry, hindi yan maayos na intel na dapat pagbasehan ng isang Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations. Ang sloppy po ng intel nila, Pinky, para akusahan nila ang opposition ng ganyan. They come up with diagrams of so-called groups that are plotting together against the President. Yung iba dun ay patay na. O sa katandaan ay namatay na at wala na ngayon, hindi na aktibo sa politika. I really would expect a more realistic and constructive response from at least some sections of government, including the AFP, sa maayos na pagharap ng iba't ibang puwersa ng oposisyon kay Presidente. I know Chief of Staff Sir Charlie Galvez as a fellow Eisenhower Fellow. I know him as a decent person and as a supporter, strong supporter of the peace process, especially in the Bangsamoro. So nananawagan ako sa kanya, sa top leadership ng AFP, wag sana silang paggamit.
Kayo ho ba nagagamit, sir?
No, never.
Because meron doon, of course, may mga articles po lumabas na in the past, no? General, about you possibly having an axe to grind against a former president because he did relieve you as spokesperson of the army back in 2011. Was it because of what happened in Basilan? Hindi ho ba?
Yeah, that's true. I was relieved.
You
but
were relieved.
I have nothing against that. That's okay. It's part of my job. But if only they understand why we have to say these things, maybe they.
So wala ho kayong sama ng loob sa dating Pangulo?
Of course.
Nothing.
If he is still our president now, we will support the president because he is our commander-in-chief.
Okay.
It's about the institution.
So,
it's not about, Pinoy.
Let's get into specifics, sir, just so it's clear to all of us. Si Vice President Leni Robredo ho ba kasama dito sa Red October?
Sa Red October?
The plan to oust...
Wait, the Red October is a Communist Party plan, okay?
Exactly, sir.
Yes, the coalition, they may be part, we don't know, I don't know, they've been denying it. It's for them to prove that...
What I'm saying, sir, is this.
Yeah.
In the documents that you gathered, in the testimonies that you've heard, did you hear anybody, did you read anything that people like the Vice President, opposition senators were part of this coalition? Meron ho ba silang in-identify na miyembro ng opposition na bahagi ng plot to oust the president?
Groups. They have identified groups. So we really don't want to name names na hindi naman... But clearly, lalagay doon, Liberal Party...
Nandun. Nakasulat talaga, sir.
Yeah, nandun.
Si Tindig Pilipinas.
Akbayan, nandun. Tindig, they're all under Tindig Pilipinas. And like I said, they are legitimate opposition group. That's okay, that's fine.
And then here comes the next question is, how do you differentiate actual critics as opposed to those who want to oust the president? For example, sir, if there are street protests on inflation, rising prices of goods, etc., sir, versus people who are out in the streets because gusto po nilang to further this cause, na nahihirapan na ho ang sambayang Pilipino, tapos pwede nyo pong ilump na sila doon sa mga taong out to oust the president.
No. Because like I said, we are a democracy. If you are a student, especially if you are an economic student, by all means, go out there and explain to the government, this is what you're doing wrong. Please, please. But to join this KMU, to join these groups who is trying, the Kadamay, these groups who are trying to close Nutri-Asia, that's different. This group is different.
We'll be taking another short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. Watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, AFP Assistant Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations. Nagmamadali na tayo, Brigadier General Antonio Parlade. Sir, yung nahanap po sa Rizal kahapon na na-raid, there were firearms.
Yes, there were communists. There were those communists we released. Si Tirso Alcantara was one of them.
Yun sa...
Yes, sa Morong Rizal.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so that's part of the group. In fact, I was telling everyone in the last interviews that I said, I gave, there are groups near Metro Manila, Bulacan, and Rizal, trying to, or well, getting ready just in case they want to pursue this sabotage of these rallies, just like the 21, just like the Plaza Miranda bombing.
I see. Okay. And how serious is this threat?
It's very serious.
Let's go very quickly, sir. Senator Antonio Trillanes, your thoughts on that? Just very quickly, sir, especially with the amnesty being the president calling it void ab initio, sir.
I'm sorry, I cannot talk about that. We may be accused of sub judice.
Sub judice. Yeah. Anything you want to say about that, though, about the senator?
Well, you see, that's part of the reforms that we want to have in the armed forces. Make sure that our officers, our soldiers are educated properly on social issues, on economic issues, not only military, puro military, especially if we have this insurgency. We have to understand the political dynamics, the socio-economic, what's happening out there. That's the thing. Wala kami noon before.
You're not supposed to be insulated. Yung po sinasabi ninyo.
Yes.
And martial law, very quickly, sir. Just your thoughts on, well, of course, very recently may lumabas na video si former Senator Bongbong
I don't want to talk
JPE.
about martial law per se because people know that. Yan yung ina-highlight for 31 years from 1986. That's the narrative of the victors. But who's telling about our circumstances before 1972? Nobody.
Okay.
Who's talking about Jabida massacre? Who's talking about the killings, the creation of the Communist Party with the aid of Gaddafi through Buscaino?
Okay.
Who's talking about the support of Malaysia to the Moro National Liberation Front with the intercession of the opposition Liberal Party? And then from there, Communist Party and the Moro National Liberation Front, then we had all this violence in Mindanao, Luzon, until this culmination on the Plaza Miranda bombing, which eventually forced Marcos, as predicted by Joma Sison.
General, may sinabi po si Pangulo na meron siyang gustong ipa-declassify sa army about, you know, a foreign country coming into the picture dahil nga doon sa plot to oust him. What do you know about this, sir?
I'm sorry, I'm not privy to that.
You don't know anything about it?
Yes.
At all?
Si Presidente.
Pero wala pa pong pinapasa siguro
Wala pa,
sa inyo na alam niyo. All right, so that's it. We've run out of time. Sir, maraming salamat po sa inyo, Brigadier General Antonio Parlade. Maraming salamat po sa inyo, General. Thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.